Welcome back to Briggs on Books. Hey, it's that time of year to start thinking about buying some books for the holiday season, giving some books away, and uh, uh, we're here to help you pick your next book, to help you pick the books you're going to buy this season and the books you're going to give away. One of my favorite kinds of books, they call them self-help books. I'm into self-help books. I've read them my whole life, and although I think I have the whole thing, the whole shtick pretty well worked out on this self-help stuff, every time I read a book, one of these self-help books, I get re-energized and look at it from another direction. This book, check this out. You'll want to read it. You'll want to give it away. It's fascinating. And by the way, the whole name is Mind, Poetic Power Principles. And not only do I have the book here, but I have the author, Al West. There he is. Welcome, Al.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Tell our viewers where you are.
I am right now in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, nice.
Absolutely.
And what time is it there? We're about 3 o'clock here in California.
So it's 5 p.m. my time.
5 p.m. Is it dark yet or getting dark?
It's getting dark.
Starting to get dark
It's
now.
it's on its way.
Yeah. By the way, I've been looking into you quite a bit, Al, because you're amazing and you have an amazing mind. On the screen, I put your titles. You had so many things they call you. I couldn't put them all. I had to narrow it down, but I love this. I left the ones I like: author, word surgeon, poet, motivator. But you do a lot more than that. You do guest speaking and maybe some personal coaching as well.
Absolutely. I just actually came from Spain about a week ago. I went to Spain to speak at a women's entrepreneurship conference, and I loved it. It was nice weather, different point of view, and I met a lot of amazing people there. So, yeah, I do that, and I do coaching calls as well. That can be booked on my website, where I help people get into alignment with themselves and become more self-aware so that they can achieve their goals.
Yeah. Now, last time you were on, I think the book was in ebook form, and you're about to do it in print. Is it out now in print?
It is out. It's out in print, and it is everywhere you can find a print book. Barnes and Nobles, Amazon.com, and DraftToDigital.com is also offering it in print. So yeah, it's everywhere in print. Absolutely.
Now, you write it in. You write your books in like poetry.
I write it in a poetic format. Um, I like to write in a poetic format. So, for instance, words are powerful, right? You don't need that many words to get your point across.
Yeah.
The most powerful three words that we use every day is "I love you." So, if those three words can get your point across in a powerful way, then I think very few words can get your point across. So I write very few words, but very powerful words. And I like to allow you to chew on that so you can ponder on what you're reading, thinking, and then manifest your wildest dreams.
Yeah. I think the book is, speaking of, you don't need a lot of words, I think it's under 90 pages.
It is over 90 pages. Over 90 pages, 90 quotes, and a lot of information packed into that small little book. Well, I call it small, but yeah, it's a lot of information packed in there.
That's good. Yeah, a book like this that's for information and transformation should be shorter. It's not a novel. You're not telling a giant story. You're trying to get a point across, and I get that. Tell us, here's the book cover, by the way, for our viewers. Tell us about the book. What's in it? What's it about?
The book is about self-awareness, self-alignment, and it is for a person that is looking to achieve their highest self, actually. So it takes you through a series of metaphors and poems that allow you to think about who you are and what you want to become and get you self-aligned with that. So the person that's on the journey to enlightenment will love this book. They'll love reading it, and they will get it. You know, if they say you get it, you get it. This is one of those books you will get.
You'll get, yeah. Now, a lot of the limitations people have are things that are artificial, that somewhere in their life, somebody's told them they couldn't do this or they couldn't be this or something like that. Or they actually were injured emotionally by someone else and aren't realizing their potential because of that. Well, can your book help get people past those barriers, the artificial barriers?
Absolutely. I think the most artificial barrier that we face in our generation, or any generation rather, is at a young age, is when we're seeking validation.
Right.
And we learn to start seeking validation by the expectations of our parents, our teachers, our coaches, and the adults that are around us at the time. So then we start looking for a validation in every point of our life.
Yeah.
And if someone says, hey, you're not doing good, then you think you've failed, whether it's
Yeah.
work, play, school, friendships, relationships. We start to seek that self validation, and that gets us into an artificial format of who we're not.
Right.
And my book takes you back to yourself and gets you more self aware and more self aligned with your ideal self and not worry about so
Yeah.
many people validating you. You need to seek your own self validation.
I, as I, as you know, I read a lot of books like this, and I keep reading them. You're never done. You're never done. But I remember the day that I stopped. There was a person that I was always seeking validation from, and I remember the day I said, I don't want that person, judge. And I stopped it, and wow, my whole life just changed and opened up. That's that validation that we're looking for, and I got over that person, and really my life, like a rocket ship, took off right then. So. Uh,
Absolutely. I just believe that oneself needs to master themselves. I don't believe in teaching people about financial literacy or anything like that. And my hats are off to the people that do. But I truly believe that once a person gets to know themselves wholeheartedly and they start trying to master themselves,
mhm.
then they can become anything that they want to become. But if they do it the other way, then they'll always be unhappy with whatever goal they accomplish. Even if they accomplish it, they'll be still filling a hole because they don't feel that validation within themselves because they're still seeking to feed that off of everything else.
What if there's a person out there that is stuck and they're not seeking a way out, or it hasn't come to their mind that they ought to be looking in a different direction or behaving a different way? Is there a way to wake those people up? You could hit them on the head with this book or something like that?
You know, truly, I believe in metamorphosis. The caterpillar, for instance, when the caterpillar arrives here, it has a lot of legs, right? Has to crawl around everything that's on the ground and figure that space out, that lower self. And
Mm-hmm.
then once the caterpillar crawls up a tree and goes into a cocoon, which we call darkness,
Mm-hmm.
it transforms itself into a beautiful butterfly and flies off. And it no longer has to go back to the space that it was in. So my book takes you from that caterpillar stage into that butterfly stage. And you have to know that you have to take yourselves away from people, out of
Mm-hmm.
environments that you were once in, because these people are only going to remind you of who you were.
Yeah.
They're not going to allow you to become who you want to be.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
you have to change your whole demographic of people, environments, spaces, and then you can become that beautiful butterfly that can fly off and have a different point of view.
Yeah. Interesting story. When I got out of high school, we stayed with the same bunch of guys, and they weren't going anywhere. We'd sit around and drink beer every night, and nothing. They weren't going anywhere. They weren't going to college. One day, months or a year after, I stood up and walked away, and I never looked back at those guys because they saw me in one way, and I had to get away from there and go and transform myself. It's interesting how you told that story. And sometimes that's the only best way is to get away from those people that are keeping you down and holding you down. I wish
Absolutely.
I wish I had your book back in 1978, 79, so I would have got there a lot sooner. I am, and I said this last time we talked, and your book wasn't out in print yet, but I'm going to give this book to people. I want people to, I'm going to read it myself because, like I said, I'm never done, looking at this thing another way. And but I'm going to hand it out to a few people that I know could use it, and maybe a few that don't need it. I don't know. Uh, you write in poems and prose. Do you think it will be easier for some people to remember the lessons you're giving if it's in a little rhyming way?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. And that's the reason why I write in such a short format, because I believe it's easy to digest that way and easy to remember. When we're teaching children, we teach them in steps. We
Mm-hmm.
never just give them the whole plate of things that we're trying to get them to understand. And as they continue to grow, we give them more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I write my books. I want to give you a little bit at a time. That way you can digest it, and then you get more and more and more as you come into the understanding of who you are.
Yeah. And by the way, your book is, like we said, under 90 pages, I think, but it's not a very expensive book either.
No, it's not that expensive. I think in hardcover it might be a little more expensive, but I rate expense like this. If you're looking for something that's going to change your life, if
Yeah.
you're absolutely looking for something that's going to change your mind, if you're absolutely looking to change, then there is nothing to the expense.
Great.
Everything becomes priceless because you'll
Yeah.
pay for whatever the price is if you think that that information will absolutely influence you.
Great. Yeah. Now, what if somebody can somebody engage you to be their coach, personal coach?
Yes, they absolutely can. If they go to a mouthfulofmasterpieces.com, on my first homepage, if you scroll down, it'll say book a call with me. And you can book a call with me and we can talk about further things. But I absolutely am coaching people at the moment.
Yeah.
And I continue to coach myself so I can be a better version of myself. So I
Coach
can
yourself.
give you the best of me so you can get the best of yourself
Nice.
and be an example to others.
And then another thing about the coaching and speaking, do you go and speak to companies, say a annual meeting of a company or a gathering of employees someplace?
I absolutely would speak to anybody, but right now I'm speaking at seminars across the
Yeah.
world. I've been to Dubai, New York, Spain. I'll be in Mexico next year, and I've been invited to France. So right now I'm traveling the world speaking, sharing the message to give people an opportunity to be self-aware.
Yeah, and to our viewers, if you have a company and you'd like, or a business or a seminar or something, and you'd like Al to come speak, you better book him now because he's busy, man. He's busy all over the place. Um,
Absolutely.
AI, I want to keep talking to you, but they're signaling me we're running out of time. But I don't know if we really said outright who needs this book.
The people that need this book are the ones that want to change their life.
The one to
Change
change.
their mind, change their life.
Nice, nice. And the book, of course, is called Mind, and not just Mind, but Mind Poetic Power Principles. I just want to give you a minute or two, Al, to say anything you want, anything we missed, or any message you want to deliver to our viewers about the book or anything in the world, in fact.
I got a quote, and it's called Visionary. They said if you're the smartest person in the room, you should switch rooms. I just bought more mirrors. My name is Al West, and these are my masterpieces.
Very good, Al. Thank you so much. Anytime you want to come back on the show, come back on the show. The book is out now. Where else can we get it, Al? You said it earlier.
You can go to Barnes& and Noble or Amazon.com, or you can go directly to a mouthfulofmasterpieces.com, and it'll lead you to all my links.
All right. And I know I'm getting the signal. Get off the air, Mike, but I saw some other neat things on Amazon. Coloring books, things for kids, things like
Absolutely.
that. You have a lot of stuff out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like to be a well-rounded person, so I think every generation needs a touch of greatness.
Excellent. Our guest is Al West. Go to that website. It's on the screen right there, mouthfulofmasterpieces.com. Same with his other social media. You'll find him out there. And for our viewers, stick around because we have another author coming up right after this.